have learned in regards to the technological aspect of the construction process of Caution magazine's front cover, contents page, and double page spread will be discussed in this video. I have split the technologies into three components: software technologies, hardware technologies, and web technologies. For the construction and development of the front cover of Caution, to even begin construction, I had to create the document in a specific way, using an international document and A4 document size measurements, and a black background, suggested by my survey feedback. I quickly learned how to do this, and using these requirements by experimenting with document proportions and settings. I didn't have these skills to begin with, but quickly had to gain them. Firstly, I experimented with background main images, as I couldn't decide which image to use. This meant I had to learn in more depth about using big quantities of layers, in which I hadn't done before, and editing this image using the Photoshop software. Editing in more detail took time to learn, and I faced many struggles with this, but I learned many new skills, including using high pass to add more definition to the image, cropping the image, and adjustment layers such as brightness, and contrast. And the tools within the app, such as the concept of using the dodge and burn tool to lighten and darken areas of the face similar to a contour. The spot healing tool and quick selection tool I use these to make my magazine as professional and realistic to the real publication, and using text layers, which was also an entirely new skill. Another issue I came across was one I struggled with the most, being how to make the head of the model come over the masthead. To do so, I put the image layer in front of the masthead layer and used the eraser on a soft hardness to feather erase around the head, removing the background of the layer until it looked appropriate. I also had managed to make a barcode with the issue number, date, and website of the publication, so I added this, added some lines or shapes. I had learned how to make the posters featured in the top left hand corner. These were not too hard to make after learning about the text layers. I then began constructing my contents page. For the contents page, firstly, I had to do similarly to the front cover document sizing. I then added the layout. I had planned to use and then made the according boxes and such. I then added my text and images using appropriate rock language and genre forms and conventions. The struggle I faced with the contents page was with the images. I didn't like the way the images I had to begin with sat on the page, so I decided I would go with a collage. To do this, I used the eraser tool to cut around them, and the free transform tool to move these accordingly. I then moved on to the construction of my double page spread. For this, my construction process, I began my document on InDesign. But I didn't use it to the full extent I could. So I used this software for text, although transferred the concepts I learned into Photoshop. A software I understood more. But to begin with, I learned how to set up a 3-page A4 document on InDesign, and how to add background images. After transferring these skills into Photoshop, I edited the image in the same way I had edited the others. I used the same model on this page too, but did experiment with other models. I added other shapes I had, such as poster circles, banner squares. One of the most interesting tools I found useful was the color dropper. That allows you to select a colour to use already on the page, therefore keeping the colour scheme very accurate. I also learned about columns for this spread, which was also helpful in keeping my magazine professional looking.